I want to ask you a question. Do you actually know who you are? And I'd assume most people hearing this would repeat pretty quickly and say, well, yes. Why are you asking that? I know who I am. But like, really, do you? Like, I want you to think about it for a second. Do you know your interests, your hobbies, your career path you want, like down to a T, what your goals in life are, what your passions are, what makes you feel fulfilled? You know, stuff like that. If to all of those you say still yes, like I know all those, like I'm extremely impressed because not even I, and I'm the one making the video and asking these questions, feel that way frequently. I frequently am not confident in my decisions and second guess myself, and I would say I don't know myself fully. I find myself questioning that quite often. But I'm sure most people who heard me say that would also say no. I'm sure most of you would say no once you've said that. Like I don't feel that way either. I don't feel like I fully know myself. I think there's a reason so many people have something called a midlife crisis because they didn't even give themselves the time of day. People have so many aspirations and so many dreams, or they're depressed or sad or, you know, feeling influxes of emotion, and you don't even really know why, or you're massively anxious, but you don't even know yourself. You don't even give yourself the time of day to sit down and like get to know yourself. Like you probably have spent, obviously you spend all day with yourself, but imagine like you were hanging out with a friend and you didn't like psychoanalyze what they did. They were just kind of there, you know, and you never really talked to them. You never even asked them like anything about themselves. You just kind of notice sometimes, oh, they like to eat that kind of food, or, you know, they act like this in social situations, or, and you're overly critical and you're kind of an asshole to this person. Like, oh, what the hell? Like they were so awkward right there when they went to go buy something, or they could have done that so much better, or oh my god, are you serious? Like your grades are that bad, or oh my god, they're laying in bed all day. Like that's how you're acting to yourself. That like that friend is you. That's how you're acting to yourself. You're not even getting to know yourself. You're just being an asshole. You're being an asshole to yourself, which is just so unreasonable. This is such a cool spot. I can't decide if I want to build up here and just have this beautiful, maybe I'll build like a house up here and have like a really cool walkway all the way down. Ooh, and then have like a little beach house with a little boat house as well. Oh my god, hell yes. Okay, let's get to clearing some. I'm sure that you don't even give yourself the time of day. Like you get to know other people, you ask them questions about themselves, and typically I feel like when you're an adult or going to an adult outing, or you know, something that a parent has, why am I lagging here? Something a parent has brought you to, that you find yourself getting asked, oh, what do you want to do? What college are you going to? Or if you're out of college, what do you do for work? What do you do for a living? You know, like you're expected to have it all figured out. And maybe you ask those questions as well to other people. Maybe when you first meet them, oh man, like where are you from? Like you try to get to know these people. Like what are your interests? You try to understand like what makes them happy, what makes them click. And if it's someone that you really want to be friends with, it's like, oh, I want to know what this person likes, because I'd kind of like to like the same things or portray, you know, myself in a certain way that they would probably find more appealing. Let me make a chest. What am I doing, boy? Make yourself more appealing. But you're acting this way. Why did I just do that? You're acting this way for somebody else, not even for yourself. Like you spent all this time trying to get to know these other people, but you haven't even given yourself that chance. But you just seriously haven't even tried. And it's super important for you to, I don't think people realize how fucking important it is to understand and know yourself. Look, oh my god, on the other side, this is just so fucking spectacular. We got oak and birch over there, baby. Let's go make some axes, and I'm just gonna go chop down, do some deforestation. A personal, you know, story, or I guess experience for me in this exact scenario is, I feel like my entire life, and I'm 22 years old. My entire life I've been that way until literally I would say a year ago, when I was 21, which is literally a fucking year ago, right? And I feel like so many people in their life have it figured out by the time they're 21, right? They're about to graduate college. They just got shit figured out. They got shit dialed in. Obviously, I would not say everybody. I'd say a lot of people are still struggling. However, using this as an example, because I didn't even feel like I knew myself. I didn't feel like I could confidently just be me around people. I didn't know what being me meant. I didn't know what my morals were. I didn't know what I resonated with. I didn't know what my nature was in this life, like what I want to pursue and what I want to help in, the human race, like what I want to do for other people, what I wanted to do for myself, like what I liked. Like I feel like I frequently said and distanced myself from people just because, like, oh, they didn't understand me. They don't even know who I am. But it's like, I didn't even give myself the time to understand who I was in the first place. Like, how are you supposed to have other people understand who you are if when they ask, you can't even properly communicate it? So figure it out. But and I wasn't even communicating with myself. Like, I just wouldn't tell myself what it was. This is so cool. This is so fucking cool. Whoa, okay. What it was that I wanted. I just didn't even tell myself because I didn't know. I feel like I talked about this a bit in my Don't Let Fear Control You video on who I am and like what, like my, how I kind of grew up. I felt like I was a very empty child. Like I felt like, it's kind of a cryptic thing to say, but no, like empty. Like I felt like I had no sense of morality. I felt like I had no sense of, and I'm not necessarily saying like I was a bad kid, like, oh, I just fucking went and killed somebody, right? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like a very skewed sense of morality. Like, oh, I don't even matter, but neither do other people. Like I should be able to use other people to my expense to understand myself more, or sorry, to pleasure myself, or I should use myself at the expense to pleasure others, so then they would like me, and so then I'll have this validation. And it's like, it's just so morally incorrect. Like not only is it morally incorrect to other people, but to yourself. Like I was treating everyone the same, and myself included, just kind of like a piece of shit. Like there was no human respect, and oh God, I really do regret it, but I guess I'm also thankful. I mean, it really showed me the error of my ways when I got older. But I feel like I didn't really have a parental figure to show me, hey, this is incorrect. Hey, you need to do this instead. Like, or sit me down and be like, just have a sit down with me and scold me or congratulate me on certain things. Like I finally got my shares from my company, which is a very big lump sum of money, like a lot of money, like to the point where I'll probably be able to pursue YouTube for another 3 years without having to work. So I really can roll the dice on this risky endeavor. And I remember telling, God, I feel bad to say this, but like, this is where I share. This is my channel. I share here. But I just feel like my mom just didn't even care. Like I didn't even feel like there was much of a congratulations. And then she had just finished her bachelor's. Because she went back to school because she's a nurse. So if she gets her bachelor's, that she gets like a 9% raise or something. And I remember her telling like, oh my God, do you not realize, like, this literally was yesterday. She's like, I just finished, like, or this is my last assignment. Do you know what that means? Like, I'm done. And basically expecting me to be like, oh my God, good job. Like, fucking go you, which I did because I'm a G. But when it was like, I don't know, like just when it's the opposite situation, I'm like, hey, I did this. Genuine, pretty good achievement. I don't feel like I got that much of a good job, or a pat on the back. And so this is me as an adult, which I can deal with it because guess what? Like I'm my own person. I'm an adult. I've realized my personality. I've realized like my interests, and I feel like I'm a lot more of a calloused individual, not in terms of like, oh, I'm going to be an asshole to everybody, but like, that it doesn't hurt me that much. And it's definitely not going to affect me, and it's not going to affect my day. But like, obviously I'll notice it. And I have like I have the choice to decide if that's going to hurt me or not. And I can choose no, but I obviously can notice it. And but when I was a kid, I didn't really have that, I didn't really have that choice of this is going to hurt me or not. I was a child, and I wasn't ever, educated or told that it didn't have to hurt me, and so I feel like it kind of just left me with this interesting sense of validation, or wanting and seeking validation from other people. And because I didn't have a father figure, I had an extremely skewed morality with women. So like, I don't even know myself. I'm acting out this charade of a person I am, because I think it's what I want, but it's just what other people think is cool or would want out of me. Like, oh, all the guys at school say they want to hook up with the chicks. So like, that's what I'm going to pursue. I'm going to pursue these girls. It's like, my brother in Christ. Like, that's not what you want. That's what other people want. Like, the more I've come to realize like who I am now, and it's just like, I despise that aspect of myself, but that's not me. That's not me. And I wasn't portraying me. I was lying to myself. And I wish I could go back and give that small version of me a hug. But we are a product of ourselves. You have to understand yourself fully in order to convey yourself fully, and for other people to fully understand you as well. And I wasn't doing that, right? And I was showing off a product of something else. It was like an amalgamation of other people's thoughts and opinions, not even communicated, but to me, kind of condensed, like, oh, that's what they want, and then creating this version of myself. Like, that's so unhealthy, and honestly a little sad. Like, I wish I could give that little guy a hug. But over time, like, I would say until I was 21, this was a big issue. Obviously over time I tried to remedy this, but I feel like I was raised by the internet. So like, my morals and my things that interest me, and just like my goals and dreams, were just so, I don't know, it was just an amalgamation of online stuff. And then like, I had access to porn when I think I was 10. I beat it first when I was 11. Like, that is so destructive to a fucking human, not even a human, to a child's mind. Like, I'm fucking 11 years old, man. Like, think of an 11-year-old. Like, that's fucked. Like, that is a fucking little ass kid. That's just so fucking sad. Oh my God, it's nighttime. I've got to get back to the mountain. Is that the mountain? Yeah, okay. But, you know what I mean? It's just, it's a little upsetting. It's a little sad. And, God, I fucking love my girlfriend, because she really helped me dial in morality, and kind of gave me that person that I was looking for, in a sense of like validation and love. And like, like those fucking memes where it's like, oh, I can fix her. Like, she kind of did that to me, right? Like, where it's the little Lego Superman, and he's like wearing his tux, and he's like, oh God, she's so beautiful, I can fix her. I feel like that was her to me, and then she actually did fix me, because I am actually so fucking thankful for her. She kind of taught me like what morals are, and how your negative actions can really affect another human being, and how they can hurt them, and why that matters. Why it actually matters to hurt another person. That's not just like, we're not just living in this simulation where that's like an AI or an NPC. It's like, oh, I don't care. No, that's like an other fucking human being that is feeling the same thoughts, the same emotions, the same everything as you. They have aspirations, they have dreams, and you just hurt them for what? For your personal gain that wasn't even like, that wasn't even you, because you didn't fully know yourself. It was just to impress your friends. So it's like, you're using other people at the expense of what? Social standing. And not even like, important social standing. It's like with your stupid high school friends or your college friends. Like, who fucking cares? And over time I've really started to cultivate that, and I've read a lot of Stoic philosophy, and it really helped me dial in my impressions, and like being able to distinguish, or have something happen to me and then be like, this can affect me in a good way. Okay, I gotta deal with my dog 1 second. I don't know if you can hear her barking. But yeah, I'd say Stoic philosophy really fucking honestly saved my life, in terms of being able to deal with those thoughts. And a huge thing they talk about in those books is to not harbor hatred for other people. And because what hatred means is to deem your opinion as the masterful opinion. It's kind of like playing God. Like who said you're the harbinger of correct thought? Like why should you even be angry? Like you have to deal with these other humans on a daily basis, and like being upset should be a given, or being, like you're not special to where that doesn't happen to you. Like we are all the same. We're all a cog in the machine. Like treat each other with respect. And honestly, just the first book I read that I heard that like completely killed my hate for other people, and just kind of put me on my kindness arc, right? And then my girlfriend really taught me morality. So it's like I've been able over time to piece it together. And I feel like that's the most important part of it, because I didn't have all that when I was younger. I'm able to find it now as an adult, and it's really brought me solace, and it's made me a much happier person. It's made me a much more content and fulfilled person. Another thing I've been doing is every morning I journal. Every morning I say what I'm thankful for, like a gratitude journal. And then every morning I read off what I think to be who is me. Like, what am I interested in? Like, I wrote this all down one day, but like, what am I interested in? What is the perfect version of me? Like, what do I see? Like, what are my morals like? What are my interests like? How serious am I taking my work? What work do I want to pursue? And I like lay all that out. And then I say like, what don't I like about my life currently in all of these aspects? And then I put on the right, how can I change that? How can I make that into a situation in where I do like it? And oh my God, it has been so beneficial. Like it has fucking changed my life. I just feel like I'm a lot more content of a person. I feel like I'm a lot happier. I feel like I know myself so much more. Gosh, God, I it's just so nice. I just feel like I really fucking know myself. But understanding and knowing myself has given me it's given me a sense of identity. And that leads me into my next part, which is why I think you should get to know yourself, why you should give yourself the time of day, like how you give other people or a dog the time of day, and take care of it. Is because to know yourself is to have identity, and with identity, there's courage. And with courage, you can do anything. You can be brave. Like how I was talking about in my last video with fear, with things that are just so debilitating, or things that just come and wreak havoc on your life and your mental state. If you have identity and you know yourself, like you are almost unstoppable, because you know what you want. You know what you need. You know how you act. You know how a moral person would act. You know how the best version of yourself would act in that situation. You also know that other people might be less fortunate to you and not know actually how they're acting. So it can make you into a more understanding human being. It's just so important, because courage is so important to all of our daily lives. Like it makes us fucking powerful, and in a good way, because knowing yourself, I feel like, comes with identity. And then I just feel like no one can beat you, because even if you're being put in the most negative scenarios, you're like, oh, but I know what I want, and I know what I need to feel positive about this. I know what little things could cheer me up. I know, if someone's being negative to you and it's like a friend or something, it's like, I know this doesn't really affect me, and they might be hurting, and I know what I want, and I'm going to properly communicate it to that person. I'm going to properly actually sit down and tell them, hey, I didn't like that, or hey, I didn't want that. Because there was a big thing for me when I was younger too, is that, I think I talked about it in my last video as well, like with fear. This comes with fear as well. It's like not really knowing yourself or having the identities, not really knowing what you want. Like my first relationship started off of a trauma bond, and she asked me like to date, and I didn't know how to say no, because I was so like socially awkward and had no sense of identity, and I was always trying to portray a version of myself that would cheer other people up. I didn't know how to say no. So I'm just glad that it wasn't in worse situations. I mean, there were some pretty bad situations where I just said yes to, which I wish I didn't. But that's how it works, right? Like I didn't have that sense of identity, and I didn't have that sense of courage in order to say no and put a stop to it and say, this is what I want, this is what I need, and be vocal about myself. which I truly wish I had a parent to teach me that. But I have myself now in this day and age because, I'm emotionally developed, I'm mentally developed, and I can make those decisions for myself. And I have a sense of identity. So now if someone says something, like, I can say no. A big thing about Stoic philosophy as well is don't do something you don't want to do. And that's not to say, like, don't make a sacrifice for someone else if it's going to cheer them up in terms of, like, because you've been working so hard and, like, you're being kind of a scumbag because you're completely, ignoring somebody and they would like to spend time with you. Like, I'm not saying, don't make the sacrifice and hang out with them. I'm saying you should. But what I'm saying is don't ever do something you don't want to do. And if you're acting in a moral sense anyway, that situation of working too hard and not being able to spend time with the people that you care about and they care about you, vice versa, that problem shouldn't even arise anyway. So don't do something you don't want to do. Every situation should be consensual. That doesn't even mean like in a fucking sexual way, but it's just like, just fucking anything. But yeah, I really hope that you guys start to give yourselves the time of day. It's so fucking important. Maybe you could follow along with the things I've done to test them out for yourself. I understand that everyone's different, but I really do think if you started out journaling, I know that it's like kind of a hard thing to sit down and just do in the morning because you gotta actually muster up the courage, and instead of just distracting yourself, you actually have to get down to business. You got to get down to business for yourself. I know it's hard, and I'm not saying you just got to be perfect at it tomorrow. I'm saying maybe give yourself a try. Maybe one day this week journal. Maybe one day this week, and then maybe that next week, maybe you journal for one day and then you read for the next one, and then that third week you don't even journal, but you just you read back what you've been writing about yourself, like for 3 days or something like that. Or for a month you put like a goal of like, oh, for 5 days this month I will at least journal. I'll say what I'm thankful for. I'll say, because something for my gratitude journal, I put 3 things I'm grateful for, I put 3 things that would make today great, and I put a positive affirmation. So let me give you an example. Okay, here. This is from like 2 months ago. I'm grateful for the challenges I'm facing, the obstacle is the way. I'm grateful for my work to achieve my goals. I'm grateful for the privileges I don't notice. What would make today great? Making progress with YouTube. Treating myself, my work, and others with respect. Harboring no hatred and not complaining. Positive affirmation for the day. I will not complain. I will not hate. I will work and succeed. Like, that's it. That's all I did. That's all I wrote down. And I just feel like it completely changed my day. It just made me so much more grateful for everything because those things are in my mind the second I wake up. Like, kind of gives me a sense of gratefulness. But that's just an example of one thing you could do in the morning, or if you want to have a better sense of identity, start writing down every little thing about yourself. Write down your goals every morning and recite them or something, something like that. Yeah, okay. So here's what I have down in my actual journal. So I just read my gratitude journal. Here's my actual one. What are your dreams and why? And I just wrote everything down. I wrote my dream. I said, I have my dream. I wrote it down. And then I write down steps of how I could actually do that. Like one of my dreams is I want to be a disciplined man of set morals and unwavering principles. And then I respond with, then practice discipline every day by actively thinking during all moments. Like something like that. It's like, oh, I want to be like this. Because it's a dream of mine. Oh, then do this, then do this, and then I wrote down why I want that: to be more virtuous, to do my duty as a human being, something like that. I want to be more physically healthy, but those are dreams, just something like that. And then I also wrote down who is the ideal version of myself. And then I just wrote down everything. Always does what he wants, never is influenced or does what he doesn't want to do. And then I just wrote down like a huge list of just stuff that I'm interested in, stuff that I want to be, stuff that I view myself as, that when someone asks, oh, who are you, that I'm able to respond with, like all of those things written down. And if you feel empty and you feel like you don't have enough stuff, you do. It's fucking in there. It's in your heart. You just got to go out there and find it. You got to give yourself the time of day. It's so important. It's seriously so fucking important. But not many people do it. I care about you guys. If you're hearing, and I know this is a huge thing. I know this is a huge deal because I understand that Gen Z is kind of raised by this generation of adults that aren't really familiar with the internet and are probably having to overwork with the current, economic situation. because it's just been getting worse and worse. And typically we'll have like 2-parent working households, or we'll have a 1-parent household where because of divorce, and both parents will be working, and you have to rely on yourself. Sorry, Piggy. You'll have to rely on yourself for, you know, education in terms of like finding your own identity as a child. And that typically comes with the internet, right? So I feel like a lot of people have these same kind of feelings as me. And I just wanted to communicate this with everybody and maybe make a few people feel a little bit better. And I care about you. I hope you can fucking get through it. And I actually, you know what? I know you can get through it. You fucking got this. It's my first time going in fucking third person this entire video. I've just been kind of focused up. I care about you. I want the best for you. Here's a fun, or it's not, sorry. Here's a nice, heartwarming video. I hope you enjoy it.
The time is now. The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.
Tell an old friend that you miss them. Tell a current friend that you care about them and want to hang out. And tell your parents you love them. Okay. I appreciate you. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Okay, bye.